Welcome to the home of wild Edric, a man with a foot in two worlds. Our world, the mortal world, and the other world, the land of the Fae. He stands holding the door between the worlds open, so that sometimes we might steal a glance through, or a stray bit of mystery might tumble through from one world to another. Not far from here is a cold, still pool. In its depths lurks a monster fish as long as a man is tall. Its ancient eyes and wicked teeth guard the treasure that is buckled around its middle. Edric's sword, secure in its scabbard, waiting for Edric's true heir to wade into the water and claim it. Edric himself lies sleeping beneath your feet. He is the king under the hill, living beneath the sniper stones. When these hills were mined, the miners knew his presence, felt his eyes upon them watching, and sometimes they would hear him knocking, calling, leading them on to show them new veins of ore to make their fortunes. At other times, that knocking was wild and frantic, drumming a beat to get out, get out, get out, saving their lives from rockfalls and explosions and bad air. Edric was a real man. He was an Anglo-Saxon lord. He lived in difficult times of war and defeat when the Normans came and conquered this land. Edric fought them. He fought to protect the land, his people and their way of life. Edric was a hero, a man who walked large on this land. He was a man who one day strayed from this world into the other world, the fairy realm. He fell in love with a fairy woman, the Lady Godda. He lost his heart to her, married her, and for a brief time they were the toast of the land, and Edric was the only lord not to bend his knee to William the Conqueror. But Edric lost Godda. Like all heroes, he was flawed. He broke his marriage vows when he let his anger lash out with whipping words, and he lost everything. Lands and titles, the support of his men, and he even lost his mind. He rode through the forests where he had first met his wife, searching and calling for days and days, until at last he found a way to ride through into the other world, into her world. Now, Edric has taken his place at the head of the wild hunt. When the country is in danger, when war is coming, he rides out as a warning. With baying hounds and thundering hooves, the wild hunt whirls across the hills in the direction of the enemy. He is seen before every war, and before the Second World War, it was a woman in Mythstories who saw him. She was pegging out her washing when there was a huge whirl of noise and wind and dust, and the wild hunt gathered all around her and stopped. Terrified, the woman peeked out from behind the washing to see the hounds spreading out into a large circle. She watched as they sat down on their haunches, lifted their muzzles to the sky, and howled. The woman's skin turned to gooseflesh. She dropped her bag of pegs unheeded, and at last the howls faded away. The riders spurred their horses on, and the woman watched the hunt ride into the distance to the east. It was only much later that she understood the warning and realised how much danger would come from the skies above Britain. Most of the stories of Edric, most of the sightings, are warnings of war coming. But the last known sighting of Edric was very different. He was seen as a silent knight, standing still and steady in a barn on top of a hill, standing in the way of diggers and development, standing in defence of bracken and windberry and heather and wide open spaces. Edric is a bridge to the ancient, the wild and the magical. And as long as he sleeps beneath these stones, this land will remain as wild and beautiful as you see it today.